Hello, everybody, and welcome to the New Earth Ascending Consciousness Unity Circle. Today, our host is Kathleen Sherman, and if anybody out there if that's in the Facebook group, New Earth Ascending Consciousness, if you go to the event located at the top of the New Earth Ascending Consciousness Facebook group, there is a link in there, and the first 10 people to click onto the link and come on will be able to come into the room and actually talk to Kathleen and speak to her one-on-one inside here. Other than that, you can watch it on the feed. So Bonnie, do you have anything to say?
Well, I just want to welcome Kathleen. She's an amazing healer, and I've known her since the beginning, and I just am blessed for her to be here to share gifts with everyone. And so I'm just going to give the floor to her. I'm excited, and I know it's a surprise because her guides does her like that. They tell her it's going to be channeled. So I'm just going to let her tell us a little bit about herself and then dive right in.
Hey there. Thank you guys so much for bringing me on. So much fun. I never know what Spirit's going to give me. So it's actually a lot of fun, but a little nerve-wracking because I'm always like, what's going on? I don't know. So I'm going to be talking today. Yeshua works through me, and definitely the other day, I just felt his energy pop in. And he comes in. I'll talk a little bit about my ascension and maybe some tips and tricks for people to get through some of these things, because it can be interesting sometimes. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, but it can be tough. So they're going to give us some tips and tricks on how to get through the ascension process, maybe what it could be like, and what we can do to open ourselves up. So I have a feeling I'll be doing a little bit of a guided meditation from Yeshua. Yeshua's really popping in, and Mary Magdalene, because they are twin flames, so they come together as a package deal. So he is here. But so a little bit about how I ascended and woke up was, and I've told this story numerous times, but for whoever hasn't heard it, I always was like interested in psychic phenomenon, psychics and mediums, thought it was really cool. And when it was 2014, after my mom had passed, I'd read lots of books by like mediums and, checked into it, but I, didn't know that everybody had gifts and abilities. And so at that time, I heard my mother talk to me after she crossed. And when she did that, I was like, holy crap, what the heck happened? What is that? So get a lot of, I'm going to change my light a little bit because it's really like,
yeah,
that's a little bit better.
Volume down a little bit too, because something's coming a little bit. There you go.
That's better. That's better. Okay. I had to turn my other light off. Can you see me a little better?
Yeah.
I'm getting some
glare.
It's some glare, but it's better than it was, I think. So anyway, after my mom started talking to me, it's like she came over in my head like a loudspeaker. And I was like, whoa, I had earbuds in, and, it was like a loudspeaker in my head. Well, she kind of yelled it at me because I wasn't listening. So I think I'm going to talk a little bit about how to listen and how to start tuning into that stuff, because right now people all over the earth, and Yeshua is telling me that it comes in waves. We're doing waves of awakening people. So it's like all of a sudden you're going to just be like, boom, and you're turned up another notch, and you're like, whoa, what the heck happened? And he's telling me some are going up many notches at once, what that means to me is we take steps up a step ladder, basically, of ascension. And that's how my guides show it to me. And each step, you're kind of moving up to more of an opening or awakening. And with our energy system, has kind of been shut down by ourselves because we learned in our youth, when we're awakened, we're born open, and then we kind of shut things down. It's like we shut walls up, shut doors, shut walls, until we're like completely blocked up. And for thousands of years, we've been going around like that with blinders on, with complete blocks over our eyes. And so we've been living in this 3D world all that time without having a full opening of our consciousness. And now what we're doing is we're starting to open back up to that consciousness. And that's what awakening is to me.
Yeah.
It's starting to open up and go, holy crap, that's a spirit talking to me. That's my mom. She's crossed over like a week ago, but she's getting information to me. How's that work? So it goes through, those things come through dimensions. And that's what those are. We are able to start to see things intradimensionally, sense things intradimensionally. And the ways that they come in can be confusing because it makes you feel like you're in our culture, we're taught that this stuff isn't reality. I'll put it, is that a good way to put it? It isn't reality.
Yeah.
But it is reality. And so our psychic intuition is our what we can imagine in our minds a lot of the time, most of the time. And so learning how to tap into that is really important. So that's what Yeshua wants me to talk about, apparently, because I'm talking about it. So, but anyway, when in my instance, I heard my mother talk to me, and then I was like, holy crap, what's that? And then I started having spirits come to me, talk to me, people that I knew, and things like that started happening. And I was like, holy crap, I need some help. So then I found Bonnie.
We all been through that. That is so scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then I found Bonnie and learned how to do Reiki. And it really taught me. She really taught me, especially with Reiki. And she doesn't just teach Reiki. It's, it's a great way of kind of learning about what energy is and what spirits are and what the in-between is, how they're getting this information to you. Yeah. And some of the things that may happen is family members coming to you in your sleep. These are things that spirit will do to kind of start to get you on that path of going, come on, open up. You're blocked off. You're running around in life with your blinders on like horses, like we have the blinders on. And right now, some of us are getting the blinders pulled off, whether we're ready to or not. So that's the ascension. That's the new ascension, is just kind of like, okay, well, whether you're ready or not, it's time to go push it forward a little bit and say, okay, come on, this is a little bit at a time, hopefully, and just open up as you need to and connect in. So ways of connecting in. I'm going to grab this out really quick. Sorry, I hope you didn't just did I put my butt in the pit camera?
Really? It was going for a second. It's all right.
I use this a lot because as a teaching tool, we are all connected to the divine, and we have an energy system, in our bodies that connects us up to, I can't do it, it's backwards, connects us up to God energy or source energy. And that energy from source connects in and spins through our body. And when we're closed off at the top of our crown chakra, these are energy systems that come in and flow through our body. And when our crown chakra up here is disconnected, that's when our blinders are off. Does that make sense? Yeah. And we see things many different ways. We can see things with what we call our third eye. It's the chakra right here that spins. And we also have the front and the back of the chakra. And when we allow the energy to open up with the crown, instead of being closed off and blocked off and stopped, that's when we start to open up. And spirit is coming along, and our guides and our angels are coming along and going, come on, you can do this. Figure it out. So one of the things that I help people with a lot, like Bonnie, is, and Robin, I know you help people too, is to kind of learn how to open that up and allow the energy to come in. So,
so really you teach people to master their own energy, to alchemize it and balance it.
Correct. Yep. So balancing, and also a lot of the things that I do, I look psychically inside people's energy fields and see what's blocking it. So when our energy doesn't flow through our body, we hold pockets of darker energy in because it's not moving. And
we have a new friend.
Hi. Hey, how are you?
Good, good. I was like, oh my God, this is happening right now. I gotta get
Yay, it's me.
Yeah. Thanks
Where
for
did you
coming,
see
Dave.
it, David? Did you see it on the New Earth
Yeah.
page? Okay, because
Yeah.
I've been trying to share it out to places. So
Yeah, let me
Yeah, I didn't.
is this
see it.
on
I
YouTube
didn't
right
see
now
it
as
on
well?
the
Like,
it's on YouTube. So go to
Okay.
YouTube and share it out from there, because I
Yeah.
invited the members to come in. They all have the StreamYard in the New Earth, but every place else I'm still in the process of trying to share it out.
You know what's different about YouTube is that you have to click on the picture and unmute it in order to see it. You don't just scroll by it and see that it's happening, you know?
David, you can find it. I
Yeah.
just shared it to
I
the
see,
Shine
like,
Your Light
it-
Network.
Have you noticed that it shows out like as a picture and not
Yeah,
like
that's what I was just saying. And so if you don't see people moving and talking, you don't realize it's live.
okay, so this is what I share though.
Yeah, you just, if you click on it, the live YouTube's in it.
Oh
This
yes.
is craziness. This is our
But I
first
mean,
time.
but it's
Okay.
confusing, I think, because I think it looks like an event. And so
Yeah, how
might
do you
click on-
so now I got it up so I can see us when I click on it, but
Yeah.
I can't share that part, so I got to go back
No.
and share the other one.
Yeah.
That's because I put a thumbnail on it, guys. I wish I could
I
take the
know.
thumbnail off.
Maybe we should put the thumbnail on until it's over. I
Oh,
don't
here
know.
we go. I was able to copy the link now. Perfect.
Okay, so
I'll have to share it later. I can't find it fast enough.
I also
Right.
just shared it to
We-
the
we
New
should
Earth
share
or to
our app
Shine
on
Your
it,
Light
so-
Network, David. If it's
Okay.
easier to share out on Facebook from like a Facebook thing, there it is on top of that page as well.
Oh, okay. I just copied it out.
Okay.
So
So let's get Kathy get back on
what am I
track.
doing
Okay,
here?
Kathy, go back. We'll get to the sharing while you talk away.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
no problem. If you want to share it to my group, you can too. I
Okay, I'm
wasn't
gonna
finding
do
it
that.
fast
I'm
enough.
gonna do that as soon as I get it over here into here. I had to move it from one place to the other.
No problem. No problem. So anyway, what I was saying, where was I? I think I lost it.
You were
Um,
talking about energy and how communication, how you're alchemizing and balancing your own energy and how you help teach people that.
Yep. So in that we hold pockets of energy in our body that we have to release. And they, to me, psychically, we look in like a psychic x-ray, kind of like Superman looking in, with his x-ray vision. I think his were lasers, but you know what I mean. And so we can all do that. And so I feel like that's where the energy is moving in the future, is everyone will be able to learn how to do that and then heal themselves without having to go to doctors all the time. And you heal yourself energetically at the base level. And that's part of the ascension process, is learning how to locate those parts of your energy that are dense and heavy and flush it or release it somehow. Emotions, trapped emotions. And so the ascension process comes in and kind of forces us to look at that. And I'll talk about Bonnie. There was so many that you helped me with. I'll talk about a few of those. When you're going through the ascension process, things come up, and like I can see past lives. And so all of a sudden, I remember I was going through, I think we were doing a lot of Reiki shares at the time. Bonnie taught me. And so I remember going in for Reiki shares and feeling some kind of serious issue like in my body. And one of them was, as I was actually a slave in another lifetime. And I was shown that I tried to run. And when I tried to run, I was caught and then pulled back. And then they hobbled my foot, and they broke my foot is what they did. And like they put it, I could see it. I could see all the stuff that happened. And the reason I had seen this is because I went out for a walk at work. And when I went out for this walk, all of a sudden my foot was just killing me. And I'm like, I didn't do anything to my foot. I don't understand. And it had been hurting for a few days, like really, really badly. And I was like, what is going on? And this is the time when I was awakening and opening up. And then I said, what is going on? And it's like, I just asked it. I didn't even realize that I was going to get an answer. I just thought it in my mind.
It kind of shocks you.
I know. And then they show me this vision, and it's like watching a movie of watching myself get like trying to run, and I'm like desperately, you could feel the energy trying to get away, like knowing I'm probably going to get killed or really injured, you know. But I didn't care. I just was like, I gotta get the hell out of here, and trying to run. And then they showed me the visions in little clips, so it wasn't too bad. So this is the cool thing. They showed me the vision of me running, and then they showed me it's like they fast forwarded, sent me to the next clip of when I was getting the foot hobbled, but they didn't let me feel the pain. I just like saw it in my mind. And then they showed me, and I was like, they showed me what had happened, and then it like kind of just went in little pieces, so it was palatable for me, so it didn't make me go into like this whole oh my god, you know what's happening to me, and feeling it physically. But my guides just kind of just came in and took over and helped me to see what I needed to see. And I went, oh, that's so cool. Okay, well, I understand why my foot would hurt, because we're really living all these lifetimes at once, and they're really not past lives, they're really parallel lifetimes. And so we can go in and help heal them. And so I remember going, I didn't know what to do at that time because I was just first starting to learn. And thank you, Bonnie, for being there, because when I went into a Reiki share, like, I think that was that day. And I remember Jen was there. Jen came to that Reiki share. And I remember walking in and I said,
those were the days. That was a long time ago.
We lost Robin.
Our little us back then.
Yeah.
Share.
Yeah.
Where did Robin go?
Yeah.
We lost Robin.
Yeah, she'll be back. Something probably happened to it. So just keep going. We're okay.
There she is.
I took my camera off because I'm eating, so I'll see you in a minute.
So you're here. That's okay. So, but I remember, just thinking about all the things that we were going back through. We all grow together and we all learn together. And she comes in and she's like, my foot. Oh my gosh. I all I did was go for a walk, and I go, wow, no, here, I always teach, go and ask the question where the pain's at. So we just went over there and go, where's this pain coming from? And we got the same story she got. And we just helped her release it and let go of all the pain and anything connected to it. But also, back then we didn't even have the understanding of each timeline is our fractal of who we are. It's another person walking the earth at the same time, or other planets at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have that expansion, because that would have blown our brain out back then.
Yeah, that was probably about 2017. That was about 2017 that I was taking the classes and doing that stuff. And I'll never forget, I remember, and it's so cool how you can see things for other people and feel the energies. And so it's like having all these mothers coming in and helping me out. I'm like, oh my God, I just saw this horrible thing. Like, oh my God, it's terrible. And then they came in as like friends and very loving mother energies, and came in and they're like, oh, let me help you. And some of those things you need to kind of pull out the energy, it created what we call a thought form of gray energy in my foot. And the remembrance of having that happen, it's like my physical body reacted to it the same way as if I was in that other lifetime at the same time. And those are things that come up with you.
And what you didn't realize is that
it's cool.
Right.
Have you noticed that
when you healed that? Let me say this real quick, Dave, then you could. But what you didn't realize too is that when you healed yourself in this lifetime, that it actually helped the person, the fractal of you in that lifetime, deal with the pain and what it was like. You become their guardian angel and you help them in this timeline. It's so crazy because we're so connected, so mind-blowing, and it just goes on and on. But go ahead, David, what was you going to say?
Well, it's the other end of the spectrum. I was just wondering, have you noticed that future aspects are starting to come in to help our timeline?
Yes.
And more advanced and more advanced aspects where they come in as guides. I do that a lot. I've been seeing that a lot with clients that I've been working with, like people from their past lives or future lives that are more advanced than they are, coming in to help them raise vibration and move up in their ascension process too. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
You know what I think is actually weird? Okay, so last night Did this happen to you, David? My higher self started talking to you, channeling
Yeah.
a message, and I was in bed sleeping. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is
was,
like so strange.
We all communicate while we're sleeping. We do it all the time.
That's so
yeah.
true.
Like I like to go to source and just sit there and like really connect deeply. And then like when I merge with my higher self and then just beaming with lights, the strongest connection that I'll ask, is there any messages for the collective? And then sometimes like Athena will come in or Yesha will come in, and then all of a sudden it's a fairy whisperer, and it's Robin. He goes, "Do you mind channeling me?" And I'm like, "No. What do you want? Not at all. What do you want to say?"
I'm a fairy whisperer.
Did it feel odd to you, David? Was that odd?
Well, I was surprised because I haven't had like someone who's living while I've been like connected with source to come in to channel them. So I thought
You
it
know
was
what
neat.
I just heard from Yashua, we're all living.
Yeah.
Talking to you.
Yeah. So
He
true
just
though,
said
right?
real quickly, we're all living and we're all
Yeah.
living. And we're all
No, but like
talking.
no, he's talking about someone that he talked to like yesterday.
I know,
Yeah.
but he just wanted to make a point. I know, but yeah, I have had that done before. Because I mean, even Kathleen, like we've had like where we just couldn't, in the human part of us, um do a healing with somebody because they just wasn't ready. And
Mhm.
so what I always tell them to do, because my guides tell me to do it, is to talk to their higher self and talk about, what can I do? What is it that is so upsetting to you? How can we heal this together? And then the higher self will direct you how to help the human person that you're having the problem with. And sometimes it's your healing. They'll tell you to go through your healing first, and then the other one will begin theirs. But I've had that happen, and I've had people say that my higher self has come and talked to him, but I've never had Robin come. Very
So
good
what
friend.
was it like? I'm curious. I know this is Kathleen Circle thing. What was that like? What?
It was just profound. Like I was just listening to what you're saying, and then I was typing it out as you're saying it, and then there's a couple things like I wasn't sure what you're meaning, so I was just asking for you to clarify on a couple things, and then you explained it to me, so then I was able to finish off It was neat, and it was your voice that came in as well. It was your voice
Yes.
that came in.
And so what was my higher self wanting to say? Like, what was I talking about? I was talking about.
You're talking about how we're coming to like in the tail end of this like lockdown closing things, and soon we're going to be able to hug our family and
That makes
friends.
me really happy.
Yeah, and that like that connection is going to be there again. And then you mentioned about there's going to be some truths coming out that are going to cause people to think and find truth. And as they're trying to find truth, they're going to be guided to the light, and the light workers are coming and they're pushing this light over, and then humanity's going to be coming in looking for the truth and finding the light. And then it's just like you called it, what did you call it, like a unity bridge between light
That
workers
is
and
so
humanity.
cool because like they've been actually showing me that, and for my higher self to actually tell you that is kind of that's amazing, because they have been telling me, they've been showing me. And I've been doing a lot of talks, a lot of vlogs lately where I've been talking about when this information comes through, that we need to kind of turn it on its head, and we need to look at the light part of it, not the negative aspects of whatever it is that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of like, that was amazing that my higher self kind of like reiterated it.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And how it introduces you as the fairy whisperer too, which is
yeah.
I think it's kind of neat how they had you hear her human voice too. That's really cool. That's cool.
They call me the fairy whisperer. There's been a few people that have been like Sienna, she channeled me one day and she called me the fairy whisperer. And then on another day, she called me the daughter of light. Do you know who you are? And she kept saying like, and it just kind of came out of the blue when she was doing her like activation kind of thing. And so that is kind of, I guess that's what they call me. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, they, uh, my higher self's name is Celeste.
Mm-hmm.
She says because my name Bonnie means in Spanish, bonita means beautiful. And so they were saying heavenly body, heavenly beauty, that my mother kind of had that energy when she named me as a human in this lifetime. And that's how I know that, because when she came to me, she explained to me why her name was that, So it's
Who
pretty
knows? Maybe I'll be changing my name someday, guys.
cool.
My
I,
name is funny because I always went by Kathy all my life, and then when I went to go out in the world, they're like, "Start calling yourself Kathleen." I'm like, "That's weird. I never went by that." But I think, and some of that is, connected into just like what Bonnie's talking about, into your higher self. And actually, when I first started working with my higher self, she told me her name was Aurora. But then now she tells me her name is Kathleen. So that makes sense to me as to why they're like, no, go by this. It's like, oh, they told me it's about our pillar. It's about putting our pillar up, and it's about that connection with the pillar of light that it's kind of like we're putting our flag up, but it's a pillar of light to send it out to others, to help others. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
David,
And then
you had that happen with your last name, the Star. Is that how that all kind of came about?
Well, the star was because I had a pre-life memory since I've been about 10 or 9, where it just kicked in, and I remembered being the star and shown like the first 20 years of my life in very vivid detail, and it was really difficult actually. I'm like, oh my god, this sucks. I was like, really?
Yeah.
And they're like, but it gets better after that. And then they showed me a little bit, and that's what I remember. So when I was a child, I went through crazy deja vu because it was like I knew it was going to happen. So as star consciousness, so I just that's why I identify myself as David Starr, because it's identify myself as being star consciousness. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's
oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just going to mention, if anybody hasn't worked with Kathleen before, she's absolutely amazing. Whenever I get myself into galactic trouble, I go to her and ask for lifelines. Help me. And,
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That's so funny because they just told me, Yeshua just told me I'm going to be doing, if you guys want me to, do a like a meditation, but it's for soul fragmentations that are keeping people not in their energy body. That so they said it's a soul fragmentation, healing, and activation from the intergalactic Akash. Is what he just told me that he wants me to do.
That's awesome.
All right, cool.
No pressure.
And before you do this, there's people watching, and if you're seeing this in the New Earth Ascending Consciousness Facebook group, there is a link there if you want to come in and be part of it and laugh alongside of us, and ask Kathleen questions one-on-one, like face-to-face. Just let us know and click onto that link that's there in the thing, and you can come in and be part of us.
Cool. And Yeshua is telling me, he's kind of running the show. Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, thank you. That they really want everyone to not be afraid of the ascension process, because moving into that, a lot of people hold fears of, oh, who am I going to be? People aren't going to recognize me, or am I going to be different? I'm not going to be myself anymore. That's not true. And they want you to know that once you start to open up, like I said, that funnel to the source and start flowing that energy, you are in that flow. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a psychic, you have to be a medium. It's about opening up that flow. I channeled a musician yesterday, and it was actually really cool. And he was showing me, doing light language, all through the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. And him doing music. And when he's singing, he's doing things with his hands, like we're doing light language. We're bringing in a higher vibration. And when he told me, he would just, okay, this is what he told me. He said that I would just step into this tube of light. And he said, when I stepped into the tube of light, I would start bringing through, and he would channel the music, just like Robin channels her artwork. You step in and you step into what he called the flow. And that flow feels amazing. It feels like divine sparkling energy, because it is. It's
Who
source
was it?
light
Was it
energy.
Elvis, or who was it that you channeled?
It was a his name was Alan. I was channeling him for a client. But he was a jazz singer.
Oh,
He was
cool.
a jazz singer, and he was showing me what he was doing as he was doing and singing. And she said he was amazing. And I've never met him in person or saw him in person, but I saw him in spirit, and he was showing me all the stuff he would do, you know, and there's so many different ways that you can channel your energy. It doesn't have to necessarily be being a psychic or being a medium. It can just be stepping into the flow and channeling artwork or having fun and dancing. They're really showing me a big thing this week. Also, moving into your ascension path is about dancing the energy in. So soul fragmentation and dancing the energy in. And what I mean by that is just allowing energy to flow through you and just surrendering to the energy and surrendering to the love and the joy that comes from source, because that is us. That is who we truly are. And we have to remember that. We have to remember that joy and that loving feeling that source brings into us, that is us in the first place. And so that soul fragmentation happens when we go through tough things in our lives, and it kind of breaks us off into sometimes 1,000 little pieces. If you can imagine a piece of glass just shattering and breaking. When I see some people, I say, "Oh, it's your soul is shattered," you know, and all these pieces have gone out into the universe, and I can just see it like in pictures in my mind. And these pictures of the soul fragmentation, pick pieces of their energy field. I say it's kind of like a puzzle piece or a piece of broken glass, splits off, and they're showing me a lot of people got fragmented over this last full moon. And so they wanted me to do a little bit of a meditation. And I felt like that too. I felt like it was hard. This was a harsh full moon that we just went through. And it's integrating a lot of our higher self energy into our body yet again. Every single time they're telling me we bring in a little bit more, and then fill in our light more with more high vibrational energy and get rid of more dense energy when you choose to move forward.
Did you feel more of a source being and less of like a Kathleen Sherman? Does that make sense? Like over the last moon, did you feel that at all? Like it's the only way I can really explain.
Yeah, like you're moving into more of your higher self energy. Like we're lifting up into they're telling me it's not really our higher self coming down, but it's us lifting up into our higher self energy. Right. Does that make sense? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, no, I felt more like source and less like David Starr in a way, but like more like my higher self, like you're saying. That makes more sense.
Yeah. And when you step into that feeling, it's just like my heart did a little boop, boop, you know, like a happy jolt of light, and it kind of just did a little, almost like your heart does a flip, and that's that beautiful divine energy that you're connecting into. Like when I talk about this stuff, I step into my tube of light. That was a cool way he showed that to me. It's an easy way to explain it to people. Just step into your tube of light when you've been in the dark. Just search around, you know, when you feel like you've been in that dark or had those blinders on, just call your tube of light to you. Call it back, because people have been stepping out of it or kind of over to the side of it, but we need to step back into our tube of light. All right. You guys want me to do whatever I'm doing, the soul fragmentation healing?
Sure.
All right. Are we going to start? Okay, let's do it.
Yay. If you guys want to come in, that'd be fun.
I just want to say something really quick before we go farther. David, is this kind of like something that you were talking about there the other day about the fragments going out and like doing things to help to help them bring stuff in? Is this like pieces of those fragments that might have been gone off to do something, pulling them back in maybe?
Well, I always intend for my fragments to come back and remerge as me if I get them to do things for me.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. I know. Okay.
We'll cleanse off anything too that we're bringing back.
Okay.
This is very shamanic, by the way. This is like the shamanic side of all of us, really. And a lot of times when people have, especially mental issues and having a hard time with certain things, a lot of time it's soul fragmentation that you have to call back your pieces. They call it soul retrieval also, but this is a bigger, like a big mass callback of our energy and power. So, all right. So I'll go ahead and start it off.
Yeah, it's always good to put a golden shield around you too, so when it comes back, it cleanses all the energies that are coming back into you.
Sure, sure.
We have before we get started, we
Yep.
have a lady that just came. She says, I'm interested, but I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Do we need to like go back and just say what we're going to do again? Maybe?
Yeah. So what I'm talking about, and we've talked about some different things today. What they wanted me to bring in was talking about moving into your new ascension and moving through the ascension symptoms and tips and tricks on how to move through and open up to your, and my Bose speaker just turned off. On its own. I disconnected it a while ago. But we're just working on helping you move forward into the new energy, basically, and what things you may experience.
Okay.
Is that a good way of putting it?
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Yeah. So does she want to come in?
I think she's just going to watch from the outside.
No problem. No problem. So they wanted me to do this. So we have ourselves, and then we have our Akashic records, which is connected to all of our lifetimes from Earth. And then we have an intergalactic Akashic that also we need to work on, is what they're telling me. So like I said, I never have a clue what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go in, and whenever I'm done, do you want me to say I'm complete if somebody else has something to say?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm calling on all of our divine aspects, asking them to, just like David said, put a golden shield of beautiful divine light around us. And I want you to just breathe that energy down through your body, breathe it into your cellular structure, breathe in from source, and imagine opening up that beautiful divine opening of your crown chakra to source and completely opening up like a golden ray of light. And I want you to imagine it's just spinning clockwise above your head, opening up and pulling in more divine light from source. And I want you to imagine that it looks like all of these beautiful sparkles of light. And I want you to breathe it in, breathe it down into your body through all of your chakra systems, and spin it through these little spinners of color in the rainbow, down through your body. I'm also using light language to bring it down through your body. Breathe it down through. And I want you to fill every single cell until it's completely full of that white light or colorful rainbow light, whatever you see. And I want you to almost imagine exploding out and sifting down through your body, exploding out until you look like you have just all of this divine light filling every single cell of your body. Breathe it down. And I want you to not only send it out through your feet, but I want you to bring it out from your pores, out through your body, from the front, from the back. Out of every single pore, it overflows with that beautiful divine light from source. And also, I'm going to call in the beings of divine white light to stand around you, your guardian angels, your spirit guides. Only those who walk in the highest vibrational white light are allowed to be in your space ever. And I want you to imagine expanding out this golden sphere in your belly, this beautiful sun in your belly out all the way around you, and connecting it in with that golden light. Constantly spinning, everything spins so that it's constantly refilling and flowing down through your body and all through your auric field. Turning everything into a golden, beautiful color. And I want you to imagine that you have rays of golden light that come out just like you are in the center of the sun, all the way around you. And I'd like you to call on your divine masters of light, whoever it may be. Yeshua is helping me guide this, and Mary Magdalene. I'm touching points right now to open up your energy field. And I want you to dissolve off all the old versions of yourself, all the stories, all of the things that you have connected with that don't have anything to do with your highest best self. I want you to breathe in that light, and I want you to imagine it peeling off those old layers of self that don't deserve to be here anymore, that need to just be washed clean into the earth. Peeling off layers of dead skin cells. It's kind of how I see it. peeling off layers and layers of old lifetimes of grunge and dirt that you have accumulated, and beliefs and thought systems about yourself that you are not worthy, of connecting to light. You are worthy. I want you to release those energies, just like you're taking off a coat. Take it off and let it dissolve into the earth. And then I want you to bring in more light every time you do that, and spin it through with this beautiful spinner of energy coming down. Spinners that are going to every single part of your body that you have not allowed yourself to love yet. I want you to send your love and this beautiful divine energy to all of those places, deep in your heart, deep in your mind, deep in your psyche, all around your energy field. I want you to send your love and light to those places in your body, in your energy field. And then I'd like you to imagine that you are in the center of all of these vortexes of gold light. I want you to imagine them all around you, feel them, sense them. And these connect to other lifetimes here on Earth. And I'd like you to send your golden energy to all of those lifetimes. And I'd like you to send it all the way through with a spiral of golden sparkling energy, all the way to those lifetimes. To those lifetimes and those cells of your own that went through hardship and fear and pain and suffering. And I'd like you to send that energy to all of those lifetimes. Spiral it out to them, and I want you to wrap them in that golden love energy. And I want you to wrap them in a rose gold energy and give them some of that pink loving energy into every single one of those selves, wrapping them in these beautiful angel wings of golden energy and pink energy, the rose gold, helping them to move through their lives. And they break off and completely break off the old selves and move forward in their lifetimes and their timelines. And they're going to get out of those funnels of time, or they're moving forward into them, and they're going to break off, and they're going to give a piece of your energy back that you were holding on to. It's going to be cleansed and cleared. We're calling in our angels and our guides to help clear that. And they're going to send it through a filtration system that looks like flames of gold. And that comes back to you. And I want you to breathe it back to your heart and to your body. All those pieces, like little puzzle pieces that have been broken off, breathe them into your body. Swirl them in. This is your power. This is your love. This is your commitment. This is all of those emotions. I want you to bring them back, filtering down through your central channel like a swirling spiral coming down through your body and coming back into your energy field and realigning you with source. Filling in holes of where you had little spaces of nothingness before. And then we're going to shoot up higher out of our bodies. I want you to take a deep breath in and lift up more. And I want you to go up to your higher self. And I want you to go up to almost shooting up out of the earth. And I want you to imagine that there's a beautiful star up above the earth that we're going to go up and we're going to lift up to and we're going to connect in with. Breathe in and lift up to that star. And I want you to imagine that you're settling into this beautiful space. Your higher self has come with you and your angels are surrounding you. Your intergalactic helpers are coming in, if you have met them yet. Even if not, they're here. And they're helping open up the intergalactic Akash to all of the different planets. And I want you to see these beautiful white lights going to all these different star systems and planets all around. And I want you to connect in with those other selves of yourself. Most of them have been cleansed and healed, but if they have not, we're going to set the intention that we go through and send the white light to them and heal and cleanse just like we did in the others, in the regular Akash. This is the intergalactic. We're going out to our intergalactic selves and helpers and divine beings of light from other planets. Most of these are ourselves. And I'd like you to imagine that you have all these streams of white light that go to all of those selves and healing, sealing, and sending out the energy to them with your breath, sending your love to them. And they are being healed if they needed it, and sending back their love and their knowledge and wisdom back to you through this star that comes down through all of those chakras that come down through your body. And I'd like you to breathe that back in Breathe the energy back from your other intergalactic selves. And they're bringing back pieces of your energy, pieces of your memory that you have forgotten. And it's swirling all the way down from that outer space in that beautiful star of light that comes down through these stars of light that come down through Earth. And then we're bringing it back into your physical energy body. And I want you to breathe that in through your crown that you've opened up. And I want you to breathe it down into your crown, back into your heart, back into your mind. And there are keys, codes, knowledge, and wisdom all coming in all different forms, shapes. You may see shapes, you may see sacred geometry, you may see music symbols, you may see all of those things. You may hear angels singing. All of those things are your divine pieces and aspects of yourself swirling back into your body. And I want you to just breathe that down into your body. Let it fill in. Going down through your central channel, all through your chakras, all through your energy system, all the way out through your entire Merkaba, your entire auric field. And I want you to settle that energy in, lock it in, and spin it into your chakra system. Breathe it in and spin it all to the right like it's locking in. And I want to thank all of our intergalactic guides, angels, higher vibrational beings of light for thanking. And I want to thank them for coming and joining us in reconnecting to some of our inner wisdom and knowledge that we have had since the beginning of time. And I am complete.
I have a little bit of light language as it was coming in. Kutubukoya takaisa namakata ashuko kumakata itama kumukotomo yatama kumukoto oyataka pakoto pokoshitaka na katabakuto kumawataka etakamokuto yataka yataka stukabokuta itakopuko makataka autokumokai itakahata kokunomokai and the kiyata integrate. I am complete.
I'll do some grounding light language. Okay. Okay, tree of life. Let's connect with the heart, the tree of life. Siya soto tonashio nakataya shonotia. Oila soto tishini totu. Yakatotina no chotoya sotoi. Oila nachi nasotochi sotoi. Asata oshoto. Inashato yakatota. Lano chututina da siatota shiokto. Oila natoha siatoto. Riatoto chinto tonayakata chietro totaya oratoto. Inasatata. Oyakatoto inashatato. Ilana no toya and ana ushototi hakatotayo honishana tata tujeto tahaya toto inokatoto ishatata haya ototo minashototoya anashato. I am complete.
I'm going to tell you that there's something coming through from my higher self. The waters are coming down from everybody's higher self like a waterfall, and it's flowing down over you. Allow the water to flow down through, and even allow yourself to open your mouth and drink the waters. Everything in this water is bringing everything back to where it is complete. Allow the water to flow and drink it in to every aspect of yourself. The watcher part of your aspect. The cleansing and purifying part of your aspect. And now it's flowing over you into your ancient aspects. Way back from the times of Lemuria, Atlantis, and even farther back. Every single fragment that has gone away is now coming back. Retrieve it through the water and allow it to be part of you again. I am complete.
Yes, Lord is.
And so
That
it
was
is.
awesome. Thanks, Kathleen. That was
Yeah.
fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kathleen. Thanks, David and Robbie. Amazing.
Thanks, Bonnie. Thanks, Robin.
Woo.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody. That was so much fun.
Yeah, that
Woo!
was fun. Woo. My
So,
head's going, wee. I'm
I
dancing.
know, I was like crying.
So much love coming through. It'll make you cry for sure.
I got to a couple parts where I'm like, because I was like getting so like high with the vibration. I'm like, I can't talk anymore. Wait a minute, how do I explain this?
Yeah. You just want to
That
stop talking and go, "Ah."
Oh, yeah, I still feel high as a kite. So if you feel like you need to ground, drink some water, because you may want to drink some water, because I feel like my head's just like, I feel like I have little explosions still going off in my body. It's
Before
crazy.
you started that, I just had these cards that were sitting in front of me, and I was just like shuffling them, and then I set them down. And then while you were doing that, this card came in front of me, and it's called Core Healing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just all of a sudden I started looking down, and this whole it was like I saw the water coming down and like going through all the aspects and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were explaining things, I was seeing it in the card. And
That's
then
cool.
David came in with the grounding and the tree of life. And right down at the feet of this is the tree of life grounding
Yes.
to the thing. And I thought, wow, that is so weird. This card is like sitting right there when we were doing that.
Yeah,
They're
and I was
showing
thinking
me-
you're doing that too. It's like, how does she know how to do this thing with the water, with the fragments and stuff?
It was in the
and you
card.
just
I was
intuitively got
seeing
connected
water.
to it. It's cool.
Because she's in the fall. They're also showing me right now that everyone who just did that, it's like a golden and white thread of light that's crisscrossing and twisting through your body right now and rebuilding your energy filled with a stronger cord. Does that make sense? So your cord that comes in, it's kind of like I see it like as the etheric cord that holds us to our body. It's like they're showing me we just rebuilt that with more of our higher vibrational energies, especially going out to the intergalactics and reconnecting with them and allowing them to help heal us. But we also need to keep sending them love and then receiving it. So whenever we connect in, they want us to reconnect with our intergalactics, where a lot of people are probably like, what the heck are you talking about? Just imagine it going out to all the planets and coming back. And I see them as little sparks of light in each piece of our tree of life. If we are the tree of life, every single leaf has a divine sparkle that goes out to the planets, if you can imagine it. So it's kind of like actually like a version of our spiritual antenna that goes out to our intergalactic selves and comes back. It's constantly back and forth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like keeping your auric field, doing your hygiene work. It's almost like we brush our teeth every morning. Why aren't we clearing out everything and connecting everything on an automatic basis? As soon as you put your feet, open your eyes, you should start clearing and cleansing. And because we walk through a sea full of stuff every day, everybody's emotions. If we could actually see all the emotions and the thought forms and everything that's because we go through our daily life, we don't have our psychic vision turned on while we're walking through the store. But if you could actually see what you're wading through, you would do it more often. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, clearing. I always recommend too, like even if you can't meditate every single day, just to create your pillar of light every single day and just connect up to your higher self and the source, and then down and ground with Gaia. It just takes a couple minutes to do, and it's a nice way to also cleanse energy and just really connect.
I always bring the violet flame down through the tube too. And set it up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I always use the infinity sign, so it goes in all directions, and time helps all your aspects too when you do that.
And call in your dragons, because everybody, like, there's been a lot of people that message me and they're like, there's density, or there's demons, or there's attachments, and they're and they don't know how to get rid of it. They don't think they're powerful enough, but they are. You're powerful, way more powerful. Like an attachment or demon is just like the speck when you're like the universe. That's the difference. But if you need some help, call in your dragons. They like taking away density. They like taking away attachments. They'll just fry it up and eat it, or just eat it and take
Bourbon
it
with
away. Just,
like a bud.
And also remember, this is something that I learned a long time ago, that nothing can attach to you that you don't allow to come in. So if something is trying to attach to you, all you have to do is command it to leave, and it has to leave. It can't stay. Like, you
And
can't.
if you have someone who says they can't get rid of it, there's something on some level that they're allowing it, because it can't be there if you command it, as Robin said, to leave.
Mhm.
You know?
If
It's
you
some
say,
kind of
yeah,
law.
if you say I commanded to leave and you don't really mean it, it means nothing. So
Right.
if you're like, I command you, oh no. By the way, I did this. It was actually it was not a being of this earth, from this earth. And I was doing a clearing, and I asked Anna, which is Jesus' grandmother, I asked, because she's my guide now, she helps me with this stuff. And I said, what is this? And she said it was so-and-so, or a specific thing, wasn't human. And I said, well, what the heck do I do with it? And she goes, banish it. And so I thought in my mind, I banish you. And I did it just like that. And the lady actually saw the energy hit into the wall. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be that forceful. So that's how powerful we are. Just by really being forceful, standing in your power, like, you knock these things into oblivion. So I didn't mean to be so mean to it. And it did leave, but hit the wall, flung out and went out the window. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, but you can't stay here. You got to go.
Yeah.
You know,
So
I
that's
think
how
it's right
powerful
now.
we are.
I think it's being reiterated over and over again. Our deepening. It's not a reconnection, because we always have been connected to the divine. It's the deepening of it, and going. Sending more of our antenna out, as Kathleen puts it, out into who we truly are. Because I just did a meditation last night, and then I woke up to watch David and Morningstar. And it was the same sort of messages I was getting. And then you were just
Cool.
giving the same sort of messages today. So it's like they're on a mission to get us to do this energetic cleaning every day, and to deepen our connections. And so that's the word right now. And then
Didn't you even have a question? You had a question there. There was somebody that had questioned you when you were doing your meditation last night. And they were like, why do you always do the violet flame? And why do you always do this? And then the answer is because we need to regularly clean ourselves, especially before we go in doing, like, getting more keys and codes, like, before anything else can come in, we have to clean. And it's like a ritual.
Right. It's like if you think about it as your closet, you want to go shopping, but your closet's full, and you could take one or two things out and only be able to buy one or two things, or you could clean the whole dang thing out and have a whole, space for whatever it is you choose, whatever gift you choose.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful with what you connect to too. Like, I've noticed watching movies, and like, all of a sudden I just put on this movie and I didn't realize that it's going to have this really horrific graphic scene in it, and it does. And it's all, and I could feel, and because they're actors, right? So you got to think of it like they're not intending to channel darkness, but they are when they're getting into that moment to live in that character. They're attuning to it. So if you're watching that, then it can come back, because there's no separation of time and space between anything. So if you're watching this on TV, those kind of chords come into your energy as well. So before I put on shows now, I actually put on a shield over my TV. I'm not letting anything come through it, but purple flaming it every night is such a good idea, because like you could even be coming in contact with somebody else's energetic field, and it just, like if something comes over, or you could be doing these videos and that online, and then people are watching it, and then they connect with you, and they make these energetic connections. So it's just like purple flaming every day is just a good way to clear your connections, be in your authentic energy, and cleanse your energy, just keeping things clean.
I noticed that too, David, because like I noticed I was starting, because like on Netflix, it's getting to the stage where I think everything that we could watch has been watched because, you know, like they haven't been making a lot of new things right now because of our world situation.
Mhm.
And I was just watching some stuff there a few weeks ago, and it was going into my dream. Like, and I was like, oh, this isn't good. I mean, like,
Don't you
even
guys
though
ever-
I knew it wasn't real,
Mhm.
like what you were saying, like it just started filtering through, and I was like, okay, I can't watch that anymore.
Haven't you ever
I
watched-
can't watch that show.
Haven't you ever watched something and closed your eyes and then start seeing it in your third eye? You're actually recording it. And so I will put a filter on and I will cover myself with a golden light. And then if I notice that I'm getting emotional because I'm trying to observe it, not be in it. If it's something dark and I'm getting emotional, I will say that's not real. That is made up. It's not real. It's not my reality. And I disconnect from it. But it's getting harder and harder to watch TV.
It is
I know.
getting
Sometimes
harder.
I just turn it off. I'm just like, I'm not watching that.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's hard when
I
you're
do
in
just
the
turn it
house
off
with
for
other people
myself.
that are watching it, and you can't do anything about it because they're like over. You can hear it. They're like watching it, and you're just like, oh, this is just too much.
If it's
You know?
scary, you're feeling everybody's fears, and you're like, "Oh God, okay, let's get rid of
That is a
this."
great idea, Bonnie, to do a personal shield before you watch a movie. Just because it could be anything, and sometimes it's fun to watch a movie that has like a little violence, like Transformers or something like that. Like where
You
it's
don't know what's going to happen.
right?
Like you don't know what's going to come up on the screen.
yeah. So yeah, exactly. So if you shield yourself, it's another layer of protection.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Like,
Yeshua was saying just setting your intentions before anything is also the same thing. Setting intentions. He's really been talking to me about setting intentions before, like in the beginning of the day, waking up and saying, oh, this is going to be an amazing day. And it just literally, because we're such manifestors, it's manifesting instantly now. So you just say that and it does, you know, instead of having a crap day, you're going to have an amazing day. He's saying just like shifting that up. And after I wanted to talk about that soul fragmentation because I saw that really happen after this full moon. A lot of people fragmented out and then they shut down. And then they shut down and turn it off. And I'm like, don't do that. Don't turn that off. Keep your faucet on is what I keep telling people. Keep your faucet on, that connection in. And every day, just like you guys said, filter and clean it out. Imagine that you're getting cleansed out. It takes 2 minutes. And then after you do that, that keeps you in the flow, because if you don't stay in the flow, you shut down, you start to go back to the old ways and you shut down. And then number one, then you're closed again. And then you're back to square one where you were. So,
Yeshua is always saying, keep it simple, keep it simple. And so if you just every morning when you put your feet on the floor and all you do is you imagine this Christ light shooting down through your crown and into the mother's heart, back up to the crown and flowing over you and then coming back out through the heart and then reaching out to the all, connecting to the all. If you can do that in seconds and then say, I'm going to have an amazing day and take off. I set the stage to God's grace and take off. That's what Yeshua just said.
yeah.
And
releasing.
You don't have to be like doing a whole hour-long ritual every single day.
Yeah, 2 seconds. Yeah.
And also they've been showing me a lot lately that when you're in the shower as well, to use the water in a ritualistic kind of way to cleanse your aura and your body, and to like think of it like not just that you're just washing dirt off, that you're actually cleansing everything and clearing and cleaning, to use the water like that.
I've also been doing salt scrubs every day. Salt scrubs every day. When I get in the shower, the salt really is helping. I've had to switch to not just taking a salt bath, but getting a salt scrub and literally putting it all over my body every single day, at least once, just to kind of cleanse my energy. That really helps too.
Was that after you did a clearing on me? Just kidding.
No. No, I'm doing that every day anyway.
I go on these galactic missions and I'm like, Kathleen, you gotta double check. I'm like,
okay, let me look.
911. That's what they are. They're 911 calls. I've done that to Kathleen too. I've called her up and went, Kathleen,
911.
911. And then I get the 911s too sometimes.
Yeah.
And over here it's called, over here instead of 911, Over here, it's called 999.
Oh,
Is it really? Is it 999 over there?
It's
That's different.
999.
Yeah, I think Kathleen called me before too and said, "Hey, is there something? You know, I feel something." It's like, "Yep, there it is." You know, it's we do it for each other. That's what we do. You know,
Yeah.
oh,
sometimes
oh. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Something
sometimes
else?
the emotion of it, like what there was something really intense I went through that I really needed family and I needed help from my family. So that's what you do. You call out to your family because sometimes your inner child gets so wounded during something like that. When you know you're all powerful and that you can actually do it for yourself, but sometimes you need your family to reach their hand out, and that's okay. I mean, we all need that every now and again, you know. And so
Yeah, that's
it's a good
exactly
thing
what
that
I
we
was
have.
just gonna say. When you guys were talking earlier, I wrote that Yashua wanted me to talk about exactly what you just said, how we are connected and how that affects us and how we need to let others help us because they have a piece of our puzzle that's missing that they help us reconnect back in with. So those pieces of puzzle come from all different directions and you never know. It could be a YouTube, could be listening to this, you know, it could be whatever you need at that time and you just know in your heart what it is. And sometimes it's allowing others to help us because we can be stubborn and not allow anybody to help us, but sometimes you have to go, I need that help from somebody, and who is it, you know? And that
The
person
first
is
thing
right
that pops
there
in your
willing
head.
to help. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And then
The first
basically,
picture that
follow the
pops in your head.
paying attention to like what Kathleen's saying and Bunny's saying and Robin's saying. If you pay attention just to these little tools of advice and stuff and start incorporating them, like because I've learned a lot off of everyone here, like little tools, and it's these little tools that we learn that help us along the way for our own soul and energy betterment. So
and it's little things too that you get off from say like a book all of a sudden shows up and you start reading the book and you're like, oh my God, how did I not know this? Or like something like a sentence or something will show up, or a song might come on and it has like some kind of like something that will help you retrain your brain or something. So so watch the signs, follow the signs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because that's
and
my
once you do
favorite.
get those little nuggets of information or those little tools, you remember because your soul knows it. Your higher self knows it all. And so you're like, oh, your heart will resonate with it. And that's another thing that Yashua has been working with me on is that when you don't answer a question. Like if someone says blah, 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 and you say, no, don't do that. He's saying, take your consciousness, drop it down into your heart, just as you do when you start meditation. Drop it into your heart, and then now speak. And then I went, oh my Lord, the answer is always way different than my head would have said. You know, it's all more loving, more compassionate, more wisdom, more seeing the other guy's part of the situation. And it's easier to resolve that way whenever you're having some sort of upset or even if you're just trying to help somebody. And I knew how to do that when I was doing healing work, but I didn't think about doing it while I was walking around out here in the world. And he's like, do that every day. Don't answer so quickly. You
that's
think
smart.
and drop it into your heart first.
I'm gonna have
And
to
that's so
borrow that.
simple. Oh, how simple is that? So
Can you
simple.
imagine if everybody did that? What the world's going to look like? Because it will, because that's what we're moving towards. So it's just, we got to get there. We're working on it one bit at a time. All of us, even, you know, nobody's perfect.
I
We're
should do
all
that
working on
with the app developer.
Yes,
Unfortunately,
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Before I was
Because
talking
it
about
gets
it, bring it
resolved
in my heart
quicker.
first.
Yeah, because it gets
So,
resolved quicker when you're coming from there, because that
Yeah.
dissolves all your heart can dissolve all of that upset around the situation, and you see the truth and the clarity comes through. That's
And it saves
Yasha,
you from having to make apologies later.
right?
sometimes
Right.
we go off the cuff, like when you're really upset with something, you're really upset about something that's happening in your life, and you want to like say your piece, but basically maybe you should just be quiet for a minute and then think.
Really,
let it sit right down in your heart first before you actually speak about it.
yeah, because really it's not your piece, really, because once you think about it, you think, oh, they triggered a wound. That was, oh, I know what that is. Oh, and it's not even your fault. And but if you let your mind take it over, you've already, now you got to apologize for what you've done. So always let it drop into your heart first. And that's hard. I've been practicing it ever since he's been talking to me about it, but it sure ain't easy. I'll tell you that.
And they kept showing me, and I would channel this for other people and myself, pull yourself out of the situation. As a matter of fact, pull yourself, and I talked about the other night, pull yourself out of the situation, dissolve all the cords from it, and feel yourself just lift up into the light so that you can see from a higher perspective. Like seeing, they're telling me it's basically like seeing from your higher self's perspective of love instead of being so ingrained in whatever's you're being connected to, just dissolving those cords.
Yahshua is saying that that's exactly what he just said. You just explain it in a different way. Because the light, your heart's the light. That's where your higher self, that's where your communication is. And so you are bringing yourself above it, but it is within you, though. But I mean, but the bird's eye view makes it a lot easier for us, our human mind, to understand about going above it. Because it's confusing to us that everything's within, you know.
It's really smart.
Right.
And then adding, like, because I just learned off of you guys as you're saying that right now to bring it into your heart. So I'm going to do a lot more. One of the things that I have been doing that I would consider that's more 5D is putting a shield around myself. Like when I know that there's some kind of dramatic event and there's going to have to be some kind of a confrontation, discussion, things that are uncomfortable. And instead, so when you protect your energy, you don't get sucked into the drama or the victim perpetrator or anything like that. And you can be more of an observer than participating and feeling something that's going to create negative emotions.
Now, David, the way that I'm shown is they show me to, instead of putting a bubble around myself, is create that love from my heart and expand it out and let that love intertwine with them on its own. Does that make sense? Like transmutes it from your inner place.
Right.
That's what they're showing me. That's what I end up doing. And I bring it in from the heart and expand it out instead of bubbles.
Right.
Once in a blue moon, if I feel like I'm in major danger, I'll put it. Major danger. What is that from? This from something from when we were kids. Yeah. Stranger danger. I don't know. Stranger danger. Scary script. But think about that too, is bringing it out, but you're creating the love energy instead of trapping yourself.
The love is the strongest energy there is. That it trumps all that. Anything that's out there, love is.
I'm just throwing. I'm not saying you have to do anything anyway. They're just showing it to me, so I was just speaking it.
Yeah. No, I've done that too. Like where I'll just beam love when someone's like being very negative and stuff like that, just to change the energy.
Yeah, because you know, that love from your heart transmutes it. Well, you guys, good Lord, it's already 12:11, and we've been on for over an hour, but there's lots of fun. You guys ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kathleen, for coming on and doing a second Unity Circle with us.
And you're
really
how did people find you again? Did you say that already? How people?
Oh wait, I forgot I made a banner and then I never.
Oh yeah, then you had a few announcements.
Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see where my banner is.
It's healingwithmedicalintuition.com as my website, and you can find me on David's app also.
Divine Ray.
On the Divine Ray app. Cool. Yay! So excited. But yeah, you can find me on my website and
healingwithmedicalintuition.com.
Yep. And that is, you can book a session with me either on the app or through my website. And you can just go on my website and book it, pay for it, book it, and set your own time. It's all set up, so you can just book it. It's actually pretty nice. But yeah, so I do a lot of, I see past lives and I do a lot of soul retrievals, help you find animals, spirit animals, all gamut of whole bunch of different things. I channel divine beings of light. You got a little bit of taste of what I do today. And my favorite is to take people on spirit journeys and help them find their own guidance, their own spirit guides, the tools that are there for them already that they just didn't know existed. And so when you teach them how to open up and do stuff for themselves, then they get the information themselves eventually. Does that make sense? Yeah.
It's the amazing part of it. Kath's a wonderful teacher, and she's a wonderful healer. and I would recommend her with all my heart.
Oh, thank
And
you.
we just so thank you for being here, and you're welcome here
Thank
anytime.
you.
Anytime you
Thank
need
you
to
so
come,
much.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Kathleen.
And so I'm just going to go on and tell everybody about what's coming up. We have a lot planned this week for the New Earth. And we have tomorrow on Thursday, June 3rd, we have Aurora Winquist. She's coming in at 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. GMT. And that's going to be for a community chat. And so Bonnie and I will be in there community chatting with her. And then immediately after that, we're going to be doing another live, and that one's with David. And we're going to be doing a Q&A around the Divine Ray app. And so basically, by the time we're done tomorrow, we will hopefully have a whole informative what do we want to call it? Informative information, everything you need to know about this app.
Yeah.
How to use it, what it's all about, and
Because
Where to get
there's
how-to
a lot
videos.
to kind of like wrap your head around everything, but it's really easy at the same time. So like once you understand how it works, then it works really well.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of people. I even had a person ask me a question today, David, about like, how do I find somebody in there? How do I find you? Or how do I find my video? And I'm like, okay, I think after tomorrow, people will be able to understand it a little bit better. And it's not hard once you know how to navigate. It's just learning how to navigating a new tool.
Yeah.
And then we also have another Unity Circle, and that's going to be on Sunday, June 6th. I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT. And that is with Jennifer Passavant. And she's going to be doing some spiritual little giggles or something. What does she call it? Spiritual
Tips.
I can't remember what she called it. It was something about spiritual
Look, I can look.
I can't remember what it's called. I have it written down, but then I ended up taking my book away, and so my book isn't in the room. And it's
Golden Nuggets.
Spiritual Nuggets.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So that'll be all interesting. And if anybody, just so that everybody knows, this is just a little bit of housekeeping. The way that we're running these Unity Circles now is we are going to be streaming them live into the New Earth AC YouTube channel from now on. And if you are a member in the New Earth Ascending Consciousness Facebook group, then you will be invited to be part of these circles. And the first 10 people to click on the link, which is always going to be located in the event inside of there, can come in during the designated times of the circles, and you can be part of the circle, and you can talk to the host and ask the host direct questions, and just kind of be here while it's going live. We thought that would be fun because we want these to be interactive, and that's the whole reason why we're doing it, is for interaction, for people to get to know each other, and also for people to pick up little tiny tips and tools along the way to put into their little spiritual toolbox. So anybody have anything else to say?
I just want to say thank you all you guys are all amazing light workers, and I am so blessed and honored to work with you and to know you. And I would recommend any of you to anyone, anytime. So I'm so thankful for you to bring me on. Thank you so much. I love you all so much.
Love
And we'll
too.
have you back anytime. Anytime you want to come on a circle, you just let us know.
I will. Sounds great.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.